Hello Pathfinder fans, back by popular demand I've got another build video for you. This is my Aldori Defender Duelist build, and this is a really effective tank that also packs a pretty good punch, so let's take a look. Unlike my last video, which was a mercenary that I bought at level 20, this one I actually leveled up from about level 2 or 3. It was also a mercenary, so I can tell you firsthand that this build really does work through all stages of the game. Alright, so for race, we're going to go Halfling because dexterity and charisma are actually both important for this build. So here we go. First level is going to be Aldori Defender, mainly to get that dueling sword proficiency. We're going to go 19 dexterity, 16 charisma, 13 intelligence, and then we're going to round out our strength to 10 and get 12 constitution for some extra HP. Your first skill points are pretty important. We're going to go perception, persuasion, and mobility. We want to get mobility, especially up to rank 3, as fast as possible. Our first feat, usually in a tank build, I prioritize defensive traits, or feats rather, over offensive. So we're going to start off with dodge, but I also want to hit things. So we're going to go weapon focus, dueling sword. And the alignment is actually important because we're going to go into monk, so you need to be at least lawful. And just kind of a spoiler, the best tanking robes in the game require you to be lawful good. So we're going to go lawful good on this guy. Alright, let's see here. Our next level is going to go into Scaled Fist. Now the Scaled Fist is going to allow us to take that charisma bonus that we built up and apply it to our armor class as a dodge bonus, which is really effective. And it also gives us a bonus feat. And that bonus feat is a good one. We're going to pick up Crane Style. And the Crane Style and the Crane Style line of feats really increases the effectiveness of fighting defensively. So we're going to go ahead and pick up Crane Style. Alright, let's see here. Our next few levels are going to be into Rogue. We're going to go into Thug. And I really love dipping into Rogue for dexterity tanks. I'll talk about that as we go each level. It also gives you a ton of skill points, so you get to round out your skills for whatever your party's missing. You still want to get perception, persuasion, and mobility. Mobility, once you get to level 3, you don't really need to do mobility anymore. Having extra trickery is nice, more attempts on traps and whatnot. Okay, at this point, now that I've got the Crane Style, I'm going to be fighting defensively. So I'm going to pick up the Halfling feat, which is Cautious Fighter. That's going to increase our dodge bonus by 2 when we're fighting defensively. So another great feat. Okay, we're going to go another level in Rogue. Oh, also that first level of Rogue gives us for free Weapon Finesse. And Weapon Finesse allows us to use our dexterity to... our dexterity bonus as a plus to hit with our weapon. So we just got way more accurate with the with our attacks with that one level in Rogue. The second, it also gives a sneak attack die, which is very handy. The second level of Rogue is another good one. It gives us evasion. Evasion allows us to, whenever we make a reflex saving throw that would normally take half damage, we take no damage. So things like Alchemist Bombs, Will-O-Wisp, lightning bolts, fireballs, breath weapon, all these things that you would normally take half damage, if you make a successful reflex save, you take no damage. And that's huge for a frontline tank who has a really high reflex save. So those things are almost, you can almost forget about them because our reflex save is going to be so high. Okay, we also get an extra feat. We're going to take this rogue talent and we're going to turn it into... Oh, make sure you get your dexterity here. All of our points are going to be going into dexterity. And I want to use magic device. Okay, we're going to take all of our rogue talents and make them combat feats. So at this point, let's see here. I'm going to take Aldori Dueling Mastery, and this is going to give us +2 initiative and also +2 shield bonus to our AC. It's kind of hard to come across shield bonuses without actually using a shield. So unless you have an alchemist with infusion discovery, you're kind of stuck. Our third level of Rogue, this is a big one. This gives us finesse training. So now we're doing, our dexterity is not only being used to hit, it's also being used for damage. We also get another sneak attack die, and we get brutal beating, which for a tank is great because every time you do an attack and you do sneak attack damage, you sicken your target. So sickened basically means that they are at -2 to hit, -2 for saving throws. So it's kind of like increasing your AC by 2 right here. Okay, 6 more skill points. You can spend them however you want. I like to have my halflings cook, you know, kind of like role-playing just a little bit. So I like to do Knowledge World. Let's see here. Our next ability here. Now this is level 7 total. Or no, this is level 5. So at about this time, you should be finishing with Stag Lord if you're running with a full party. So I'm going to grab Combat Expertise. When you get into your main city, there's a helmet that, as you're using Combat Expertise, gives you a +2 to hit. And I remember using that helmet for quite a while. So I like to pick up Combat Expertise at about this time. Finesse Training, our Dueling Sword, is now going to do Dexterity to damage. Very nice. Our next level, level 6, is going to be into Rogue. And level 4, let's go ahead and take a look at that one more time. Level 4 is great. It gives us another feat. It gives us debilitating injury, so we can have our target doing -4 to AC. It can be -4 to hit. We can make their speed slower. There's a bunch of great debuffs that you can now apply by just attacking with sneak attack. Also, it gives us this, which is probably the most important ability thus far, which is Uncanny Dodge. Before this point, if you lost your initiative roll, your tank would be flat-footed, and sometimes you could get hit 5 or 6 times before you get a chance to get your dodge AC to kick in. This doesn't happen anymore. So now you're never caught flat-footed unless you're like paralyzed or rooted or something like that. So this is just a fantastic ability for dexterity tanks. Okay, our rogue talent we're going to convert to a combat trick, and we are going to go, we should have Crane Wing available. There it is. Crane Wing gives us another 4 dodge bonus to AC when we're fighting defensively. So fighting defensively is very, very beneficial at this point. And I can just tell you, at this point in my game, so I played with this tank, a 2-handed reach cleric, which was Crusader actually, which was terrible. He was only good at healing and dying. That was all he ever did. And then my Eldritch Archer main character. That was my 3-man party. And at this point in the game, this tank, once I got that 4th level in Rogue, it was so noticeable that he became the MVP of the party. So often the party would wipe, and it would just be the tank, and he would survive and kind of carry us through difficult encounters. So he's also hitting pretty strong right now with his 2 sneak attacks. You can also turn off Brutal Beating if you want to get more damage. Okay, let's take a look here. Our next one, we can't go into Duelist yet. We don't have combat mobility or our base attack bonus high enough yet. So we need to take another level in Aldori Defender. And that's going to give us, let's see here, we're going to take combat mobility. And we're also going to take, at this point, Outflank. And if you don't have other melee in your party, which you probably do, but if you don't, then I would switch this around and I would take Outflank with this ability. Let me change it to something here. I would take Outflank with this ability. No, sorry, Accomplish Sneak Attacker with this ability, and then I would take Combat Mobility with this other one. Eventually, you're going to get Outflank, but for right now, that would be a decent way to go. But since I was running with melee, I think, yeah, with my two-handed reach cleric, I'm going to grab Combat Mobility and Outflank. There we go, Outflank, Combat Mobility. All right. Let's see, with that level, we now qualify for the Duelist. So we're going to go our next 7 levels in Duelist. And Duelist is great. It allows us to use our intelligence bonus to AC, and it also gives us precision damage equal to our Duelist level for every attack. More points in Dex. Put your skill points wherever you want. Our second level of Duelist gives us parry, which is nice for preventing attacks from hitting. We also get bonuses to our initiative. And your skill points you can dole out however you want. At this point, I believe Crane Riposte should be, there it is, Crane Riposte is available. We're going to grab that. That's our last feat in the Crane line. And it takes our fighting defensively penalty down to -1. So that's really good. You also get attacks of opportunity when you lose your bonus from Crane Wing. Okay, next up we've got Enhanced Mobility. Gives us AC when we are getting attacks of opportunity against us, which is nice. Because as a tank you have to move around and reposition from time to time. So this is going to make sure that we don't get hit by those attacks of opportunity. Level 4 Duelist. Get our skill points in. We got combat reflexes as a bonus feat, which is very nice. And we're going to take improved critical. At this point, we basically have all of the defensive feats that we need, and everything from here on out is just going to be offense. So I'm going to grab improved critical for my dueling sword. That's going to make Outflank really shine. The more crits you have, the more chance you have to crit, the better those Outflank and Seize the Moment feats become. Now when we successfully parry, we're also going to get an attack of opportunity, so that's nice. Synergizes well with combat reflexes. Okay, level 6 Duelist. Nothing much, nothing too special here. We no longer take penalties to our movement when we're going through difficult terrain. Let's see, this is level 13. We're going to take critical focus to make sure those crits get confirmed. Our level 7 in Duelist is our last level in Duelist. This is going to give us an extra bonus for fighting defensively. We're going to get another 2 dodge for fighting defensively, which is very nice. And that's our last level in Duelist. And at this point, even if you're running a full party and no mods, you're going to hit level 14 before the end game. And this is a fully self-sufficient tank at this point. Does decent damage, and any levels you get beyond here are just going to add to the damage. So from here on out, because I ran with a small party, I'm going to continue on, and I actually hit level 20 on this guy. I'm going to keep going in Aldori Defender. So that's going to give us the defensive parry, which is nice. It gives you +1 to AC whenever you make a full attack. Let's see here. We are going to take Accomplished Sneak Attacker for some extra sneak attack dice. That's going to give us an average of 3.5 damage per swing. Next level, we're going to go Fighter again. We get another bonus feat. Put another point in Dexterity. If you're running a full party, this is probably about where the game ends. Maybe you hit level 17. For this one, I'm actually going to take Seize the Moment. Where is it? Here we go. Anytime you make a crit, anytime an ally crits with this feat, you also get to make an attack of opportunity. So this synergizes really well with Outflank, combat reflexes, improved critical. All those other feats we take synergize really well with these feats. They're very noticeable. Once you start adding those teamwork feats, it's very noticeable, the damage increase from your party. Level 5 of Aldori Defender is going to give us weapon training. And we are going to make sure, put our points here. We're going to make sure that we are getting, let's see here, I would take weapon specialization, dueling sword, and our weapon training is going to be heavy blades. That's for the dueling sword category. There's also some gloves in the game called Gloves of Dueling that increase this bonus by 2. So I'm actually getting +3 to attack and damage, which is a huge bonus for one level of fighter there. Continuing on, we're going to get another point of defensive parry, so now I'm up to +2 defense, +2 AC bonus for making an attack. The other thing, the disarm, you never use. I never use combat maneuvers in this game, so. let's see, this is level 19. This is going to be our last feat. And at this point is when, if you're running with a small party, you're going to run into Wild Hunt. So you definitely want to take Blind Fight because they have a really nasty gaze attack that paralyzes. So you're going to want to have that Blind Fight. And that's it. That's our last feat. Our last level is also a good one. We get this Steel Net, which increases the dodge bonus to fighting defensively by 2 and reduces the penalty by 2. So a very good ability here. And there we go. There's our finished character. Now I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording right here. We're going to get into Pitax, and I'm going to show you this build in action. Alright, so here we are. This is a beginning fight in Pitax. It's really not a very difficult fight. I'm going to run in here with my tank just by himself. Now, he's not really buffed to the gills. He just has greater invis and haste and reduce person. The greater invis is mainly just so he can get his sneak attack damage, which is a big chunk of his damage, without having somebody else flanking. In terms of gear, he's got the Hat of Mental Perfection +8 for the int and charisma bonus to get that to AC. Standard cloak, rings. It's got +8 bracers of armor. Now that's important. If you don't have, in this build, if you don't have at least +4 bracers of armor, you need to be casting mage armor on your tank. Otherwise he's missing out on a lot of armor there. River Fox Memento for extra sneak attack damage. These are the robes I was talking about. You get a +5 dodge bonus to AC. I don't really have a great belt. +6 to dexterity only. Here are the gloves I was talking about. These give me the extra +2 bonus to weapon training. Standard boots. And then I've got the Bloodhound dueling sword. And you can see this guy is not, he's not a pushover. He's got +43 to attack and +25 damage there. It's not bad at all. This AC is going to kick up quite a bit once he gets in combat and starts fighting defensively. All right, so here we go. I'm going to target this Herald here because he's really the only guy who can paralyze me and make me lose my AC. So here we go. There he goes, into the fray. And there you can see, like, right off the bat, 59 crit. Not too bad. It's definitely not tickling. Okay. This, by the way, this is on unfair. So you know that this is, even though I'm over-leveled for this area, it's still challenging. Oh, look at that. And immediately I get hit. Let's take a look here. So there we go. 43 sneak attack, 41 sneak attack. I'm getting hit a lot. What is this about? Natural 20s. That's really the only way that this guy's going to get hit. Like, let's take a look here. So I did get hit here, but you can see that my AC is 75. So in this game, I don't think even up to the very end game, anything is going to hit you with an AC of 75 unless it's a natural 20. Okay, and let's just take a look here. I think these guys are getting pretty lucky, honestly, to hit me that many times. And he's got a 30% crit chance, so you can see that, you know, these guys are, he's doing a pretty considerable amount of damage. But I do get hit from time to time. Let's take a look at this here. Oh, 81 AC. I don't know what happened here for me to get extra AC. Defensive parry. I don't know, but you know, that's it. And also most of this is dodge, so a lot of this is really applying to my touch. You can see my touch AC is 61, and that's going to be really important at the end of the game. So like I said, this build is extremely effective and does a lot of damage, and it really works throughout the entire game. From level 6 onward, this was a really strong character to have in my party. All right, if you have any questions on the build or any suggestions on another build you'd like to see, let me know.